As spring unfolds around us with its vibrant blooms and warming light, I'm reminded of the ever-present cycles in life. The ebb and flow not just of the seasons, but of our own experiences with hardship and relief.
A significant light, just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merge and change, but your face remains the same. Sorrows will be here by the door. When we're finally sober, they'll be gone.
Sometimes, on a particularly rough day, I find myself thinking that this never-ending battle with pain is all there is and all there ever will be. The weight feels too heavy, the path too rough. On days like these, the darkness isn't just around me, it seeps within, making it hard to see any light. But there's something about the shift in seasons, the way spring cautiously replaces the cold with its gentle warmth that speaks to me. It reminds me that there is a rhythm to everything, even pain. There is a time for the darkness, and there's always a time for the light to return. Accepting my illness is not about giving up. It's about making peace with my reality. It's acknowledging that yes, my body has its battles, and no, they won't define my spirit. Acceptance is about finding balance and embracing life within those limits, without letting the illness overshadow everything. Yet, acceptance doesn't mean I've stopped seeking relief or hoping for better days. I'm always on the lookout, always trying, always seeking. Hope is a persistent little thing, like a seed waiting for the right combination of nutrients to just come to life. So, as the seasons turn, my hope renews, accepting the challenges of today while actively nurturing the seeds of hope and healing for tomorrow. Hey guys, welcome to another vlog. I love this time of the year when the weather starts to get better and everything just blooms and I can plant my herbs outside. Hold on, also that means a lot of noise. Let me close this window. Yeah, there's a lot of people mowing their lawns and trimming and blowing leaves, and yeah, it's also a very kind of noisy time of the year, but I still take that over any quiet winter day. So I have a little bit of news to share with you guys. I am actually going to be traveling again on Monday. Today is Thursday, so just a few days from today, and I'm going to be going to Brazil, and I am going to go see my rheumatologist there. And usually I would be super excited at any opportunity to travel. However, I'm not. I'm actually pretty stressed out about it, and I'm trying to understand why I'm feeling this way. I think I am in a lot of pain. a lot of pain. The fibromyalgia is flared up. The ankylosing spondylitis is absolutely out of control. The amount of pain I have been waking up with is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I have to call my husband on the phone. He's working downstairs from home, and I have to ask him to come and help me get out of bed. And he has to like massage my back. He has to help me stretch because I am so stiff and in so much pain that I can't even stretch myself. Once I start moving, then I can get the day going. Then it does get better until I start doing a bit too much. So I can do a little bit after I get going in the morning. So the first hour is really hard. But once I pass that hour, I probably have a good 2 or 3 hours until I start declining again. And anything that I do that involves my back, it will trigger. It will trigger a pain crisis. And this is what I have been dealing with every day. I am not sleeping. I'm waking up several times in the middle of the night in a lot of pain. Extra meds is not helping. My shoulder is getting affected now. Like I can't put a coat on because I can't do this movement where you move your shoulders backwards. The plantar fasciitis is coming back. Obviously, the inflammation is rising. The medications that I'm on, the extra medications that I'm on is not helping, and I desperately need help. And my rheumatologist here in Canada will refuse to see me until I do the MRI here, which I'm scheduled for the end of June. So I'm just supposed to be in all this pain until this happens, when there could be a solution. Yeah, that just takes a moment, you know, to like sink in. So I'm not quite sure what I'm expecting from this trip in Brazil. First, I'm going to get the MRI there. I'm going to privately pay for it, and that means that I can get it done on the same day. It will be a lot cheaper than it is here in Canada. And then I'll have an in-person consultation with this rheumatologist because I only had a virtual consultation. He's the one who diagnosed me with ankylosing spondylitis. But what I really want is to get treatment, because from what I have been reading online, from the videos that I have watched, from research, people improve so much when they are on anti-TNF medications, which are the biologics. And I just keep imagining what my life would be like if I didn't have this much pain. Yes, it is probably not going to take care of the fibromyalgia, though if it's supposed to reduce inflammation and fibromyalgia has an inflammatory component, then it should help fibromyalgia as well. But anyways, I'm just hoping for relief. I'm just hoping to get validation, to be taken seriously, for people to look at me and say, your pain matter. It is not okay to leave you like that. So that's what I'm going there for. But maybe the first reason I'm scared about this trip is because it involves a doctor appointment. And even though the experience I had with this doctor has been very validating, and it's just been a very different experience compared to what I had here in Canada, it still is a medical appointment. And they stress me because I have a lot of history of being gaslighted and just traumatic doctor's appointments and not being taken serious and left in pain. So there is that little bit of unconscious stress there, I think, given that this is going to be a medical appointment trip. Second, I think I am still very traumatized by the last time I was in Brazil, which was almost exactly a year ago. I came back like at the very beginning of April. I had a very traumatic experience there. That is when my ankylosing spondylitis got out of control and I developed pretty bad uveitis and I lost my vision on my right eye. I did recover after, but I didn't know I was going to at the time. I was very, very sick in a city that I didn't know anybody and I wasn't able to get medical attention. I was spending most of my time at the airport trying to fly back home. If you'd like to know a little bit more about what happened in Brazil last year, I'll leave the link in the description below and you can check out that vlog. But I pretty much end up hospitalized as soon as I came back here in Canada, and it was very, very traumatizing. So I feel, again, subconsciously, my mind is associating Brazil with all that I went through there last time. And then there is just the trip itself, which I have very recently done a very long trip to Thailand. And that was extremely hard on my body. I do not regret doing it. I would do it again, but not a month after. You know, I feel like my body needs time to recover. And lastly, I don't know, when the weather gets so beautiful here and it starts to get warm and it's like camping season and gardening season, I don't like to leave Canada. I don't. I love going to warm places when it's cold and dark and kind of gloomy here. But when the weather starts to get better and I'm getting excited about going camping with my van, I don't really want to get on a plane and go far away. There's also some logistics that I need to think of. My migraine injection would have to be done while I'm there because it would be too early to take it here before I go, and it would be too late to take it when I come back. And it's a refrigerated medication, and I would need to figure out how to bring it to Brazil, which would involve getting a cooler and getting ice. And, you know, I talked about that in my tips for traveling long haul, but the problem is that it's not a direct flight. So my ice will be okay on the plane, and I can always get the meds in the fridge of the plane. But then once I get there, I have a layover and then I have to catch another flight. The ice will have melted by then, or even like the gel packs will have melted, and then they no longer pass the security because now they're considered a liquid. If they're frozen, they're okay. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get ice in São Paulo so that I can transport from, you know, São Paulo to Rio, which is where I'm going and where my appointment is. So there's like all those things that you need to think of, and I got to make sure that I have refilled all my medications so that I have enough for when I'm there. And that was part of the problem last time I was in Brazil. My return got delayed, and then I ran out of medications, and that also triggered a lot of inflammation. So I gotta really make sure that I have enough for way more than what I need. I'm just feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling super, super overwhelmed. And then I have to pack, and I am going to kind of two different climates because my appointment is in Rio and there's going to be very hot, but then I'm traveling south to visit my dad and there's going to be a little bit cooler, but it could also be really hot. It's that time of the year that the weather can go either way. So I do need to be prepared. So that makes it a little bit more challenging when you're packing on a carry-on. And that's all to say that I'm stressed. And by no means I am not realizing how lucky I am to be able to get on a plane, go to another country, see a specialist, get an MRI done privately, and take care of my health. I know a lot of people can't afford this, don't have the opportunity to do this. So I know how lucky I am and how privileged I am. But I still feel stressed about it. I'm just being super honest with you guys. The trip stresses me. What happened to me in Brazil last time stresses me. Going to doctors stress me. And I'm just feeling very overwhelmed. I also wanted to update how I was doing with the back pain and the ankylosing spondylitis and my foot and the plantar fasciitis. And yeah, everything's flaring up. Everything is flaring up. And the other day I thought I was getting sick because I felt like I had flu-like symptoms. And I guess that was the fibromyalgia, because I did not get sick. So then that is flaring as well. So yeah, just not fun. So if you're also flaring up, whatever it is that you have, chronic migraines, fibromyalgia, ankylosing spondylitis, chronic fatigue, lupus, whatever it is that you deal with, and you're flaring up, I feel you. I'm right there with you. Anyways, I have just rumbled way too much in this vlog. I did get quite productive for the first couple of hours this morning. Like I said, after my rough few hours, once I get going, I do have a good run for a couple of hours. In spite of flaring and all that, today wasn't too bad of a day. I did struggle a bit in the morning, but after that initial struggle, once I got going, I was able to do a few things. I was able to plant my herbs and water the plants and do a few things. So it wasn't a completely unproductive day, but now I'm crashing. Now I'm crashing. The pain is starting to creep up pretty fast. I will see you guys next week, and that might actually be in Brazil. So maybe I'll see you in Brazil. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this glimpse into my springtime ritual inspires you to find your own version of renewal, whatever you are, whatever season you may be navigating. Remember, after every winter, no matter how harsh, spring comes with its unwavering promise of new beginnings. Take care, nurture your spirit, and keep planting those seeds of hope and healing. I will see you next time.